Next up we have Lexi, who designed for show themes Brave New World, Twinkle, and Blueprint.
My inspiration for the Twinkle show was not only the stars in general, but how they look when we see them in the night sky. I also took the northern lights as an inspiration for my color scheme. I made each uniform piece with a different color in the design, but kept them united by using the same star motif in different ways on each piece. I had the idea to use the gradient to black to help reinforce the concept of the night sky, and it was nice to be able to adjust how dark the colors got and where.
That's very clean.
Nice. It reminds me of Star Trek.
I do like the different sizes of stars for the twinkling.
Mm. Cool. I like the change of color. That is nice, and the change in placement for the stars are also nice. I wish maybe if we're making a choice to go on the skirting, maybe that is just a little bit more from the skirt, just to also give it a different look while you're tying everything in together. I almost kind of wish the same for the band top, that maybe it just had a little bit more that kind of ran through the shoulder.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do like the slickness behind it, and how it's just very like straight to the point.
You're right. It looks just like a Star Trek uniform.
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh, I love the green. I was not expecting that.
Wow.
Yeah, like I kind of wish more of the stars in the other ones were like this cascading effect where they're like falling and like trailing down the shape of the body. I really like how this was done.
Yeah, I like the placement of it. Same thing. Maybe I wish there was a little bit more to kind of tie it in, a little bit more of like that grainy, like far away star look.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been fun if with this theme, I hadn't even thought of this before, to grab a constellation and use that almost as the center. You know, it's obviously simpler, but then what if it's the story of the constellation, and that's what this whole show is? Mm-hmm. You know, it could be any of those things. It's really just about the stars. So
yeah.
Oh, good.
Nice. I love the colors. All three of the colors come together from the uniform pieces.
Yeah, like gradients of it though, because like we haven't seen that super bright pink, but it's kind of that muted maroon that gets illuminated into that. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I would also kind of, similar to one we spoke about before, play with the placement of maybe the tail of the star comes from the pole end, and then we drag it out just a little bit more. Maybe it shoots down from the 45 to where the star's at the tip, to just make it spin different. Always think about placement when you choose to do a graphic, whether it's from the pole side or the silk side, is going to give you a completely different effect.
Absolutely. And I almost wonder what would happen what it would look like if some of the negative space on that flag was taken up by like smaller versions of the same thing. So it's more of like less of like a shooting star and more of like a meteor shower, just to fill up the empty space.
Yeah, or just enlarge that space and like maybe drive if the choice is to have the color come on the silk end, then maybe pushing the star up to the top and just filling it with more of that color. Because I do love the colors that they chose, but then it's just like maybe opening it up more so you get more of an impact from that color.
The show A Brave New World led me to think of an outer space voyage with a bit of retro vibes. To achieve this, I took color inspiration from the 50s and 60s, and also some atomic era graphics that I put my own touch on. I used a texture with colorful dots that I could adjust to look like fun and funky stars. It was fun to be able to import my own designs and layer them on top to look like a little futuristic, but a lot of fun.
Nice. I like how it fades and it ombres on the way down. I love any contribution to the sleeve because it just changes what that looks like.
Oh, we've got those dots wrapping around the leg. Is that correct? They go all the way down? Yeah.
Yeah. I like the yellow at the bottom of the leg and how that transcends through that. Keeping the midsection at darker tones to make it more flattering for all shapes, and then all the way down to the leg, making that a little bit brighter, which can be to your advantage and disadvantage, because then when you're talking about cleaning feet and doing all of that, then you're going to have to work hard to make sure that the bottom of your feet are good as an ensemble. So you also sometimes have to you also sometimes have to consider that when you're thinking about tones and where you're sending the eye with color. It's like you have to consider choreography and consider what the ensemble is going to be doing and the cleanliness behind that.
That's what I was gonna say. I almost missed it because it's a little dark.
I hadn't seen it.
Oh, it's actually a full rocket, but half of it is black, like the underside. I think, right? Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
Well, yeah, that's going to be hard to read from any distance. But and I think, am I correct that all three of these uniforms are all the same shade? I feel like they all are, except
it looks like it is,
the accents. Yeah, and this is from the show theme perspective. It's a Brave New World, so they took that as to let's go find new worlds is what it seems like, a space thing, but it could go lots of different ways too. So that was an interesting choice.
Yeah, I don't mind the rocket. Maybe just the placement of the rocket is probably what threw us off, because I didn't think to look at the middle for it.
It sort of lives in the center on all the pieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a little too on the nose.
Yeah, playing with placement on that probably would have made this feel different. I like the flag, so in this case I probably would have taken like the yellow more up and let the yellow overpower more of that ombre that they're going for, just to again get that sense of brightness and difference from everything else that they have done. They included the rocket again, which again it's like just a stamp in the middle. So I think playing with placement when you choose to do things like that is important. Now we've seen previous uniforms that use the same placement or logo all the way across, but they played with the look of the uniforms and the colors in the uniforms, which is what made it work. And then this looks the same, and then it's just stamped in the middle. So then that's why it makes you feel like it's incomplete or just like an afterthought.
If we go back to the unitard, I just want to, like, one thing that might like raise some concerns is like the shaping or the size of the dots and where they're placed. Like the ones that are around the right leg make that part of the leg look really heavy. I like where the bigger ones place up on the chest, because it draws my focus up here and makes your torso look a little bigger. I'm thinking of like someone wearing a boot with the yellow one. Like it makes me seem like that part of their leg is bigger than it is.
It looks bigger than the other side, yeah.
The show Blueprint, to me, is all about starting from the ground up and building bigger and better. I chose bright and fun colors and kept them mostly consistent between the looks to keep the plans the same. Again, I love the gradient options and being able to layer different patterns and textures on top. I went with one that looked kind of like the grid lines on an actual blueprint.
Love yellow and blue. Those always work together for fields. Really do like that. Same thing here. Like just where the placement of that writing is, or I'm assuming blueprint, is what it looks like an afterthought. Like we just placed it on there to be literal. I think the idea of using it is cool, but maybe again just playing with placement and then playing with the different tones of it. I don't mind the tone if it was placed in a different spot, but it definitely just feels like it was just added on to kind of tie that all together. But I do love the yellow to blue. I do love the tones of color a lot.
It seems like the blueprint might be more successful if it was more rooms, right? So you see more of the divisions. It's all shrunk down a little bit so that you can get it all on there. But it was just so simple and sparse that you got two rooms on there. It's kind of, and sort of the third one under the armpit. It's hard to really know what that is.
Right. I appreciate that they chose to use the blue as the base and then work their way up, so then you're really bright at the top. I think that looks really, really nice together. Did they incorporate blueprints? Did we do a 360 on this one on it? No, so just on the jacket. Okay, and then I mean at that point it'd be, if you're going for the same look and you're going for the same thing, maybe finding different ways to incorporate the blueprint, just like you did with the top, and then again playing with color to give you the sameness but also make it look different. In this case, but then we incorporate on the flag. Okay, cool. But same thing here, like it's just like in the middle.
The incongruence between the curved shape of the flag and the rectangle is just hard to get past.
I would expand it and then maybe blur it, so maybe it like fades if you choose to expand it, so then you get your blueprint idea out, not on the uniform but on your silks, and then you expand it, make it read, blur it. That already would look way different.
Clearing up those like horizontal lines are going to make that flag spin a lot better too.
Yeah, for sure.
The next designer up is Marissa, who selected show themes Mystery, Babylonia, and Blueprint.
My first design dials it back to a few thousand years ago, to the age when the Babylonian Empire ruled over the present-day Iraq. The GPG music score portrays this ancient theme and rich culture from the initial opening number that starts with a staccato percussion beat, paired with a triangle, and then starts to layer in with pit percussion, winds, and followed by a rich brass section, and sort of like almost like a snake charming.
Nice. Green is my favorite color, so anytime I see green, that's probably why I love drum corps and the marching arts, because I just love looking at the green all the time. And I do like the tone of the green on the leaves, and then how it works with the background. But then you have to consider again your stage and what that would actually look like if you put that out there from far away. I'm not sure if that would work. I don't know if you guys feel different about that. If you consider I think
the background shade is helpful. That very light sand colored that helps. But it might need to be that the leaves are a little less dense. Each one's a little smaller, so there's more of that sand color coming through. Yeah, I was thinking about the colors, and I don't know that I like it. I like the depth of that green that it had. I just think it's almost like there needs to be more negative space between the green so that it's allowed to come front.
Yeah, or maybe the background is a different tone. Just so it doesn't make it feel as spaced out, if that's what you're talking about. Maybe the color's what makes it feel, maybe if you just give it a shade or something that it's there and you know it's there, but it makes it look a little bit different. My concern would just be considering the field when you make choices of colors like that. I like the top part of that a lot.
I love this cut.
Yeah, I like that. It's one of my favorite cuts. Yeah, super elegant. I like what that is.
It stretches up.
Yeah, I really, really like that. Maybe if it's like a mesh, it would be cool. I don't know that the leaves on the legs might have been smaller. I might have made them bigger.
Yeah.
So it overpowers on that in terms of the print. Again, color choice is just considering the field for me.
For that unitard, I'm getting the way that the pattern of the leaves are placed, it makes it look like two separate pieces. And you're going for a unitard and you want it to look very seamless. So I don't think that's that was the best placement for that pattern to go. Maybe it could have been something where they trellis down the leg and they wrap around like a vine to make it look a little bit more cohesive, natural. I like that, but it's very pretty.
That's going to pop against everything else we've seen for sure.
When I think of mystery, I think of a mystical technology and sci-fi experience, and I also think more philosophically about the mystery of life. My thoughts around this show theme was focused on binary code. I chose black as the base for indications of emptiness, and white for the number to indicate regions of light. The green highlighted numbers pose the questions involved with the choices and mysteries we have with our life. The digital design flag provides a brighter energy to this concept, but still generates the same reflective theme and motion I wanted to portray with the dotted graphic on the tail end of the flag.